Ah! Okay, so it started recording it. I'm not going to mess with that. Hello, everybody. It's me. Okay. Before we even begin, I need to express to you that it's taken me an entire year to come back and continue with my story, because much has unfolded with regards to the developments of my story thus far, but also because I am always called to do it in alignment. It has been extremely uncomfortable for me to come on and continue sharing the story with you. But it is absolutely necessary because it's getting louder and louder and louder and louder, and I have to do it. I have to continue sharing, because this isn't about me. This is not about me. This is about you and those of you that need to hear it. So it was so uncomfortable starting it a year ago, and I did 6 episodes. I call them episodes because it's a series now, and we're on season 2, and this is technically episode 9. So I did episode 7 and episode 8, which were very short, and they are little like snippets of me. So they're just little like nudges leading up to this one. So I have made myself a cappuccino in good spirit, because this is going to be a lovely chat with you. And if you don't, pause, go make yourself something, and then come sit down with me. And whatever resonates with you is what is meant to leave a mark on you, for you to understand, first and foremost, just how important you are, just how important your life is, and just how important everything that you've been through is. Not just the importance of it in its entirety for you, but in the grand scale of why we are here. We are all connected. We are all one. We all matter, and everything is in alignment with each other. I've continued to speak of love and speak in my heart space, speak truth, speak authenticity, and speak just me. So some episodes I'm going to be like doot, 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 doot. Some episodes I'm not. So this one, it is now in real time. My nose itches as confirmation. So we're on the right track here. So in real time, it is now 3:30 in the morning, and it is time. So I'm continuing on from where I left off. And if you haven't watched previous episodes, I please advise you to just watch, because it will help you to understand where we're at right now. But essentially, I'm bringing in my business aspect, my personal aspect, and my relationship aspect into the entirety of my story, so that it resonates with you in various areas of your life. So we're going to pick up now, and we're going to just speak as it comes through, as uncomfortable as it is. Okay, so I'm going to just get quite comfy here and just lean back. Yeah, I don't know if I need a pillow. Maybe I need a pillow. I think I need a pillow. I think I'm going to use those one. Okay. Let's get comfy, guys. See, now I don't know if this is going to be so comfy. See, and this is also just being like who I am. I'm not trying to be anyone else. I'm not trying to script it. I'm showing up here. Okay, the coffee's way too warm, so we're just going to sit with it. Janae, just go. All right. It's uncomfortable for me because I've always strived to show up in an extremely high standard and manner. And, you know, I left off with regards to dancing professionally and having the door closed in your face, but still continuing, and just basically, you know, just a little recap. In essence, how my life may have appeared to be quite perfect because I was dancing and thriving, and I was with this very attractive and what seemed to be very happy relationship, and I looked great externally. But we all fight these internal battles, and it's not so comfortable being vulnerable with anybody. I don't think it ever would be. I don't think anybody is comfortable with sharing that part of themselves with people. And I think that's why I honor what I'm doing. And, you know, if this doesn't resonate with you, and if you have an opinion of it, then you have an opinion, and that's what it is. It's an opinion. And I'm here to completely remove the ego, and I have had my ego removed for quite some time, just with my journey up until this point. But with regards to the story in itself, it needs to be told so that you can understand how I got to be who I am today, and how I am able to stand or sit in front of you and address you in such a beautiful way. So I have finished university and I am dancing professionally at this stage, and I am dating my ex-husband, and it seemed great. It really did. It was lovely. It was a really, really good time of my life. There were moments where I felt suppressed, but there were moments where I also felt elated. So it's always, we must just remember, it's always like your heartbeat. So if it was just one straight line, you would flatline and you wouldn't be here. So in essence, your heartbeat has these fluctuations, and that is what happens in life. That is what happens in the external, and that's what happens in the internal. And it's how you process it, I do believe, which allows you to have a steady rhythm. So the messages may come through as I speak, and then I'll go back to my story. So you just got to understand that that's how I'm delivering it, and that's how I have been delivering it. And right now, I think it's a very uncomfortable position that I'm being placed in, because I need to speak my truth, and I want it to be portrayed in the most respectful manner. And it always comes across as or you know, the value of which I hold in myself, in my essence, and in my love. So I just want you to sit and feel what I'm feeling currently, and as it transpires, you'll understand where the uncomfortability is coming through. So it's about understanding at this point that we only have today. And I've been putting this off and saying I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll do it tomorrow, and the tomorrows have added up, and we just need to get it started because it's time. That's what I've been told, and I must honor and respect that. So now that I have eased myself into the conversation with you for 10 minutes, whew. All right, so I was in university and I'm finished university now. So I'm dancing professionally and I'm also teaching. So that was what a beautiful experience that was, to be able to teach and dance professionally, because what I was learning on a professional scale, I was able to teach to students. And that was such a beautiful gift. And while I was doing that, so I was dancing professionally, I was teaching, and it was a part-time teaching job. So I would teach whenever I didn't have rehearsals, and it wasn't always every day. And then I was also studying. So I was continuing my studies so that I could continue to learn, to grow, to give, to share. So I'll give you an idea of this and the continuation of development that I have incurred is, while dancing professionally, you have strenuous rehearsals. So your body is going through the utmost because you rehearse and you run it over and over and over, and it's intense. Professional dance technique and level is of quite a standard. So you have these high intensity physical rehearsals, and rehearsals would range for half a day to a full day. And I'm teaching, which is still physical but mental. Both are physical and mental. And then I was studying, which was to do with movement. So again, physical and mental. But the type of person that I have always been, because I've always just wanted to, I actually want to pull up a quote that I wrote when I was 15 that I found the other day. And I just thought, what a true reflection that is of me. And at 15 years old, I wrote here that my motto is to never rest until your good is better and your better best. And that's just always how I've lived. That is always just what I've strived to become. So in essence, I'm studying as well. And on top of that, I'm also planning my wedding. So there's a lot happening. And I, being me, was, no, let's just over excel and overachieve here and really, really go the extra mile. I was studying both modalities of ballet and modern dancing. So the ballet qualification takes a year. I did it in 6 months. The modern qualifications can take up to 3 or 4 years because there's so many exams and so many levels that you have to get through. I was doing 2 exams at a time. So I had actually formally written to the committee to ask permission if I could do 2 exams at a time. And my work ethic was beyond impeccable. And it's just been innate in me to perform of this high level. So that's just to give you an idea of what's happening all at the same time. And then, you've got this, because once you have a complex about your physical being or your exterior look, if you've been felt, if you've been felt suppressed, wow. If you have felt suppressed in that area of your life, you're going to feel the complexity throughout your life. And dancing, unfortunately, and this isn't, it's a very, very, very big statement that I'm going to make right now, but I do believe that there is truth in what's spoken. Because it is a physical, entertaining genre, one needs to therefore look a specific way. When you are of the ballet industry, and we're not talking centuries and years of this portrayal, is that a ballet dancer must be light because you are lifted. A ballet dancer is essentially speaking through body and must look as though they are floating while dancing on their toes. So that's where that, I might need to sneeze. That's where that comes in. So I had this complexity in my physical form. And one would have never thought so, but it was something so difficult at, starting at a young age and continuing it through to adulthood. And to watch children that you're teaching experience similar, I just become such an advocate for the young and for the youth, because I know and I understand what it felt like. So I just want you to know that any part of you is perfect. And I say imperfectly perfect. And there's so much AI and there's so much filters and stuff that are making us all look so different to what we really truly look like. And I might need to sneeze and my nose is itching and I want to drink my coffee. So just understand that you're exactly how you're meant to be. And yes, it changes. Like, oh my gosh, you get spots on your face, and yes, you have stretch marks because your weight fluctuates. There is no person that is going to look the exact same throughout their life. There are people that fall pregnant. Then there are people that put on weight. There are people that lose weight. There's so many factors. You may get bitten by an insect and it leaves a scar. You may fall and scratch yourself, open up the skin, it leaves a scar. Isn't that what's so incredibly miraculous about these vessels? Is that not one of us are the same. And I think that's so beautiful. So with that being said, I've got this complex of my body. My mind is strong and I'm very, very accurate in my delivering of my technique, of my notes, of my studying, of my articulation, of remembering syllabus. But my goodness, my physical. And, I was smoking at this stage. I think I was smoking. Was I smoking? Yes, I was smoking. I was smoking cigarettes, and again, it's this societal group that you get now put into because dancers smoke. And it was like a thing because when you smoke, you're replacing the cigarette with eating, so therefore you stay in a good form. But jeepers, it's terrible. It's like you are doing cardiovascular activity, so you are pumping like so much blood and your heart is racing, then you're smoking, so the capacity of your breath work is terrible with your lungs. So I'm doing that to my body, and it's so terrible. But I'm kind of like going with the crowd and being like, yeah, I'm a dancer, and let's go have a smoke break. So, and then I'm planning this wedding, and I'm in a relationship that I'm happy. I was happy. I wouldn't marry somebody that I was unhappy with. And I wouldn't marry somebody that I did not love. So I was happy and I did love my ex-husband. But, as I said previously, we were both unable to see one another fully. And we were both healing, because everyone's healing. It's a continuous journey of healing, and we're all at different stages of our healing journey. So we were just unable to see that in each other. That was what we wrote. That's what we chose. So we learned from one another. And that's what I take from that aspect, is the learning from each other to be better than what we were, and to teach Mason how to process healing, how to process emotions, how to do these things. So, anyways, I am planning my wedding, and jeepers, that's quite stressful. Nobody tells you, because, getting married, it's like, whoa, it's so amazing. And just, it's exciting. But, man, it just felt, like it was fun, but it just felt quite heavy for me. And I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know if other people that plan weddings feel the same, but I really didn't. I don't know. I just felt like it was just a lot of stress and unnecessary stuff, when it should be exciting. It should be an exciting period of time. And so that was happening. And I did make a couple of notes, because, I do want to make sure that I remember certain aspects. Okay, so I am planning my wedding. It's very stressful, and my ex-husband falls ill, literally like 2 days before the wedding. So this is kind of where it's like crunch time. And I always thought subconsciously, if that was a sign that we shouldn't go through with the wedding. But then you also wonder, like, oh, is it just cold feet? Am I being silly? So I do believe now more so that a relationship does take work, and a partnership does require equal energy exchange. And when I say work, I mean in the gardening sense of you watering the other while the other is growing, and then you swap, so the one can't only be growing and the one can't only be watering. So I just wonder to myself now, looking back, if that was a sign because of everything that unfolded now. But it was all meant to happen this way regardless. So I guess that was just something I thought of at the time. And maybe it was just like a big red flag going up, like, Shanae, hello. Because the relationship was great and there was so much love. Oh, there was so much love and there was so much playfulness and there was a lot of laughter. But there was just so much anger and unhealed versions and parts. And I was afraid. I was truly scared. I was walking on eggshells to ensure that he wouldn't be triggered. And that shouldn't be something that someone needs to live. That's not okay. So you wonder to yourself as well, if you were placed in their lives for the trauma to come out that way, or for them to deal with the trauma in that way. But this is so much deeper. There's much that one cannot I really try to use words very intentionally. One cannot conclude, because that's a very deep psychological topic. So anyways, you know, he was hospitalized 2 days before the wedding, and now this is where I'm just going to speak my truth, because it's the truth. So you have various versions of stories. You have the one person's version, the other person's version, and then there's the truth. And I'm just speaking the truth. I'm not speaking of versions. It may be my version of it, but there is truth in my version. And remember, the hero's story is very different to the villain's story, and vice versa. In any story, each character's interpretation of it is very different. So I am not trying to say, that there were aspects where I was perfect, because nobody's perfect. We've just discovered this. And I was not the most perfect human being either. And I also had my things. I mean, oh man, I was proper. Like, I had to have the pillows specifically done, and I had to do it before bed. I could not, the pillows had to be laid properly. Everything had a place. The dishwasher had to be packed. And I had my own flaws. So everyone's got their own thing. So who knows? Maybe he felt the same, like eggshells, like, oh shucks, I got to make the pillow correct. So that's, I think, just what I really want you to understand with how I'm portraying my truth and my story. So anyways, he lands up in hospital, and we had our wedding. What a fun night. What a fun night. Man, oh man. Like, he refused to stay in the hospital. So he's like, I'm not staying in the hospital. I will get married. So he came out of the hospital and we got married. And, unfortunately, he had to go away straight after our honeymoon. And he was away for a month for work. And that was quite difficult, just, as newlyweds. And this is where I'm coming into my story about just how I've been treated previously by other relationships that I've been in, and that it hasn't always been faithful. And I'm not making any accusations, but on the return of the trip from being away, I developed an STD. And the STD was so bad that I was teaching at that stage, where I had transitioned to teaching full time. So I had stopped dancing professionally now at this point. And, you know, was I still dancing professionally? No, I was still dancing professionally. No. So I was just teaching, and I had to leave because I was in so much pain, and I had to go to the doctor because I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit. It was really, really sore. And you know what? I'll just be like very vulnerable here and state it how it is. But I had the STD that rhymes with shorts. So genital, those things. I just don't like the word. It's quite a... Ugh. So anyways, you can only contract something like that if there was a sense of unfaithfulness. And I questioned it, and I wondered to myself, could that be a possibility? You know, we've just been married, and I was manipulated into believing that it was not the case. And I always felt uncomfortable introducing female friends because I always just felt that it was too friendly. And I guess that's just the insecurity again, complexity, insecurity within myself. And that's just the reflection of it, is you must understand that it's something you're dealing with. So you mustn't put blame on the other person. But I don't know about the virus. But anyways, I'm now dancing, teaching, studying, I'm married, and it was a lot, you know, and because I've always just wanted a beautiful life, and I've always just wanted to feel very comfortable financially. I was working extremely hard. I was starting businesses on a side hustle. I was printing clothing. I was printing stuff on clothing. I was selling that. I had joined some product and I was selling products, and I always just had my hands in lots of things. It's just been something that I enjoyed doing, and I've met so many beautiful people by doing it, and I've also learned so much. I've learned various skills, and I've learned various just ways of presenting yourself, ways of I'm going to end the video soon because I'm tired and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. So I've developed various ways of how to structure my time and what I'm capable of doing. I've always pushed myself beyond what I thought possible. So anyways, I think that is where I'm going to cut it for today, and I'm looking forward to the unfolding or the continuation of how the story unfolds. And man, oh man, you guys are in for a treat, because the plot just thickens and it just gets... So I hope you're enjoying, and I hope that I am allowing you to understand that everything is relevant, and we really just need to operate from a space of truth, from a space of love, and if you feel like it's getting louder for you to share your story, however that looks, people write lyrics, people write books, people paint, people draw. There are so many various ways that one can interpret what has happened to you. And I'm doing it this way. So some people make a movie, some people have a documentary. I feel like mine's going to turn into a whole thing. Excuse me. But yeah, so next episode, I may be a little bit more bubbly. I think I'm just trying to ease myself in a year later and allow myself to feel uncomfortably comfortable with you. So thank you for joining me. And I hope that your tea, coffee, cappuccino, whatever you had to drink was delicious. And then I will see you in the next episode. Okay. Bye.